Yo, we in here. We back with another video for key to overcoming social anxiety. Alright, so if y'all don't know, I do have social anxiety, but I put myself in a position where it doesn't actually show. Now, sure, I might not talk as much. That's just because I don't like talking all the time. But when I do go in those crowds and those positions, I'm able to talk without just overthinking about it and overwhelming myself. So let's get into the video.
Here. A very interesting study was conducted in 2000 at Cornell University by Professor Thomas Gilovich. He took groups of students and randomly selected one individual from each group. He then told the rest of the students to show up to a certain room at a certain time to work on a quote-unquote project. It's very important to note that all of the seats in this room were positioned in a way so that everyone was facing the door. He then took the singled out individuals, purposely stalled them a bit, and had them wear a t-shirt with a well-known person on it, such as Martin Luther King or Bob Marley. He then told that individual to go to the room knowing that they would be late and also knowing that all of the other students would look up at the door and notice who was coming in. This experiment was supposed to replicate an embarrassing event. The singled out individuals knew that they were the only ones who were late, and they were led to believe that everyone else noticed by the fact that everyone looked up when they walked into the room. After the experiment, the researchers asked these embarrassed individuals, how many of the students do you think remembered the incident vividly? And on average, these singled out individuals reported that 50% of all the other students would be able to recall the event and the shirt that they were wearing because, well, they messed up. And they were absolutely sure that a large chunk of people in the room noticed. But what the researchers actually found was that only
Now, with that, what he's about to say is literally that nobody really cared. I mean, 10% of the room, nobody really cared. Now, if you value how other people see you too much, then it's gonna automatically put you in that group where you feel like anything you do, you're like walking on eggshells, okay? So taking away the whole crowd and taking away the embarrassing stuff, if you can just talk, say talking to the mirror. If you can do that without messing up or feeling any type of anxiousness, that's already the first step. That's done, you know? How I think about things, and this is how I get over mine. It's like you get what you see. So I'm late. I'm late. There's nothing I can do about that. Are you gonna get on me about being late? That's stupid. If you really get mad because I'm late, unless it's for an important reason, I'm late. Whatever. What of it? You know what I mean? So holding that where you really don't care about other people's like opinions on the little things, such as wearing a weird shirt or going to going to class late, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
10% of the students in that room were able to recall the event and the t-shirt, 5 times less than what our embarrassed individuals thought. What this experiment discovered is what's called the spotlight effect. We humans often overestimate how much others care about our negative and also positive actions. We think that the spotlight is on us, that everyone is looking at us and judging us, when in reality, the large majority of people simply don't care. And this is a
Nobody
very,
cares.
very important concept that you need to internalize if you are struggling with social anxiety. See, the main reason we feel anxious around others is because we feel like they're watching us and judging us. We're scared to act how we want, to be ourselves, because we don't want to risk people looking down on us. We don't want others to dislike us. But in reality, the large majority of people simply don't care that much about you. I know this.
Now, that is something I actually learned this sort of when I went to college. So when you pull up to a classroom late or you like leave early, nobody actually cares. Like you might get looked at while you're walking out, but that's because you're bringing attention towards yourself. But everybody normally generally goes back to what they was doing. They completely forget about it. Now, that spotlight effect will cause you to feel that anxiousness and that anxiety because you think everybody's just centered on you when nobody cares, you know? Say At work, I've gotten to the point where I'm just nonchalant about this. Where, say, at work, I'm a little late. I work a 9 to 5. I don't suggest you just act like this all the time, but for me, when I'm heading down late, I really don't care about the time. I'm not gonna speed 5 miles, 10 miles, 20 miles over the speed limit because I'm late. I'm just gonna get there when I get there. And normally, 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna write me up. They're not gonna sit there and get mad because I'm late. Even if they do write me up, whatever. Okay, I really
Sounds
don't
like
care.
a bad thing, but it's just human nature. Most people are stuck in their own heads and are thinking about themselves, not you. The moment you internalize this concept and genuinely start believing in it, your levels of social anxiety will drop significantly. But of
Yeah.
course, this is much easier said than done. How in the world can we get ourselves to truly believe in the spotlight effect? Well, today I'm going to show you a simple 2-step process that I personally use to drill this concept into my own head. Step 1. You need to become more aware of your own thoughts.
Yeah.
The large majority of us are oblivious to the 50 to 70,000 thoughts that we have on average every single day, which is why you need to start building a mindfulness habit like meditation, where you try to clear your head and try to focus on one thing like your breathing. When you build a mindfulness practice like this, you will become 10 times more aware of how you think, and you will also start to notice that the large majority of your own thoughts are about yourself. Past events, future concerns, worrying about what others think, that sort of stuff. You'll know.
Now, with that, just filtering out your head. So, meditation is great for clearing your mind and filtering what's going on and everything. It slows everything down. That's why I suggest meditate without doing drugs. Like, don't do drugs, just meditate. You don't need to do all that extra stuff. It's the same thing, just meditation takes effort, and if you meditate more, it's gonna bring more passion towards it because you won't lose all that dopamine just because you had to work for doing the meditation. Now, say with me, me going throughout the day, sure, I think about a lot of things, but I realize most of this stuff is about myself and where I'm at. So talking to yourself, not verbally out loud all the time around people, because then you might feel like you're weird. But if you can mentally talk to yourself, like, okay, so if I'm doing this, then I can do this, or if I can move like this or anticipate this, then you're gonna like target your thoughts. You're gonna understand what you're thinking and what you're gonna do with that thought. So like the past events, I wouldn't even be thinking about that as much unless I'm thinking about that for something in my future, because I learned from that event. Future events, the reason I think about future stuff is either because I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do, or I'm trying to figure out where I want to be. I daydream about my future, where I want to be and the things I want to do, because that's me manifesting. You know what I mean? I said that weird, but whatever. Worrying about others, I really don't care. Like, say I'm to myself one day, I'll have a resting face, and everybody will come up to me 11 times a day asking me if I'm okay. Bro, I am chilling, I am good, I do not care. Get away from me, please. I really do not. Yeah, I need to understand.
Notice that less than 1% of your own thoughts will be about other people that you come across randomly throughout the day. Step 2. Once you've started becoming more aware of your own thoughts, you can start doing another mental exercise, one that I like to call the swapping shoes exercise. This is when you go to a public place and pick out a random individual. Then you focus, and you try your hardest to imagine what's going on in their head. Imagine that you're in their shoes, living their life. What problems are they currently facing? What are they currently worrying or stressing out about? What sort of insecure thoughts are going on in their head? What other things do you think they're thinking about? Allow yourself to really imagine being in their shoes, and also imagine what sort of thoughts are going on in their head. By doing this exercise, you will start to condition yourself to believe that others spend the majority of their time thinking about their own problems and themselves, which is actually true. The more you do this, the more you will internalize the spotlight effect, which in turn will allow you to start feeling less and less social anxiety.
Now with that one, I didn't even realize I did this way before I've always liked to see how other people see things in their heads. So when you can do this and truly internalize what they're seeing, you realize they're not even focused on you. Like, they're not looking at you. They're focused on whatever is going on in their head and what's in front of them. They're taking things one step at a time and not focused on what you think about them eating some ice cream. They're just trying to eat the ice cream and get on with their day.
As you start to realize that people just aren't paying that much attention to you. It might sound a bit sad to realize this, but in reality, you'll feel a huge weight being lifted off of your shoulders.
Yeah.
You will feel free. This episode is sponsored by Blink.
Okay. Well, that's going to do it, their video, but I want y'all to understand that sure, you're the main character to your life, but that doesn't mean you're the center of attention for everybody. Now, what we call the villain's arc, where you get broken up with and then you fall back and you become quiet and everything, once you have something like that, you don't even need a heartbreak. You could just literally slow everything down and fall back. Stop talking to as many people. Get on your purpose and your goals and everything. And you'll understand that literally nobody really cares what's going on with you. So you letting them live their lives and you letting yourself build a life for you is going to be your ultimate task, your ultimate goal, the main thing you need to accomplish. So that's going to do it with today's video. We are out.